Shabbat Shalom. This week's Parsha, Tazria Metzora, deals with the laws of spiritual impurity. That's called Tuma. And purity, hara, focusing on Sara'at, a skin condition, bodily emissions, and purification rituals. These portions outline the diagnosis of skin disease by the Kohen, purification procedures involving birds and cedar wood, and purification of contaminated homes. I want to introduce you to somebody who I learned a little bit about this week. This is Tyson Yinka. He shares with us that narrative is the most powerful mechanism for memory. While isolated facts go only to short-term memory or mid-term memory with repetition, as when we study for exams, story goes immediately to long-term memory. According to Yuval Noah Harari in his book Sapiens, he teaches that language evolved as a way of gossiping. According to the theory, Homo sapiens is primarily a social animal. We know that. Social cooperation is our key for survival and reproduction. It's not enough for individual men and women to know the whereabouts of lions and bison. He asserts it's much more important to know who in their band hates whom, who is sleeping with whom is honest, and who is a cheat. Samuel Heilman, this gentleman right here, wrote a book called The American Synagogue, and he got a lot of pushback for saying the following: giving and receiving gossip is more or less constitutive of being part of the community. Not gossiping defines you as an outsider. Gossip, he says, is part of a tight system of obligatory exchange. It is the lifeblood of community. Well, I know, I'm so sure that none of you ever gossip. So how you could possibly be relating and resonating with any of this? Tazria Metzora. Sara'at is a skin disease. Sara'at. Surus. Oh, you got trouble. When the Kohen Gadol saw you had an issue that he identified as Sara'at, you would be sent out of the camp for a number of days and then only returned upon inspection. The rabbis of modern times, meeting the last 2,000 years, we've come to understand this as a punishment for Lashon hara. In other words, these skin afflictions is punishment for us gossiping. Now, what is their proof text? Well, when it turns to hateful or derogatory speech, as in V'hinei Miriam Metzoraat Kashaleg. This is the proof text. When Miriam turned as white as snow, she became our biblical Snow White. When did that happen? When she spoke ill, along with her brother Aharon, of Moshe for marrying a Cushite woman. Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh gets PO'd at Miriam and Aharon. For some reason, just Miriam gets afflicted, and you know what happens then. Moshe cries out for her healing with the line that we use for our healing. V'yitzak Moshe el Adonai lemor el na rafana laha. El na rafana laha. Heal her now, O God, I pray thee. So because Miriam broke out in these white scaly lesions, the rabbis connect that to the skin disease known as Sara'at and to gossiping about other people. I and Renee once attended Lincoln Square Synagogue in New York City. And the rabbi was in the midst of a many-week Divrei Torah teachings on Lashon hara. His point was that we never should say anything about anyone, that it's a slippery slope. Don't even say any good things about people. I think that's going a little too far in guarding the Torah, in creating a fence around the Torah. Because, as you'll soon see, there is a positive way of approaching this. Let's take a look a little more deeply at this concept of Lashon hara. Speaking Lashon hara is as bad as 3 cardinal sins. First of all, idolatry. Second of all, incest. Third of all, murder. And so we need to put a fence around our words and protect our words from going so far that they are akin to idolatry, incest, and murder. In addition, speaking Lashon hara kills 3 people. Now, how is that so? First of all, it kills the one who says it. Second of all, it kills the one he says it about. And number 3, Lashon hara kills the one who hears it. Like that famous story about the feathers that cannot be returned to the pillow from which they were released. We need to place a fence around the things that we say. We find this in our parsha, Lo telech Rachil bi'amecha. Rachil is a talebearer, but we're not talking about a storyteller, really. We're talking about, in a negative sense, someone who slanders or someone who informs. Don't go about telling stories among your people. Lo telech Rachil bi'amecha. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory points out words can cause emotional injuries that are as painful as physical ones, perhaps even more so. Sticks and stones can break our bones, and words can break our bones too. They can break our spirit. This book is written by the Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi Yisrael Meir Kagan. He lived from 1838 to 1933. He's known as the Chafetz Chaim. He was a Lithuanian rabbi and ethicist in Eastern Europe. He was named the Chafetz Chaim because of a line from Psalms. Mi ha'ish hechafetz chaim. Who is the man who desires life? Ohev yamim lirot tov. Who loves his days, that fills his days to see goodness, to see tov. His name, his moniker, came from this particular line from Psalm 34. Guard yourself from speaking evil, from speaking bad in your lips. How do we begin each Amidah? Adonai sifatai tiftach. Open my lips. Our lips are important, and what comes out of our lips, not only what goes into our mouths. So protect me from speaking what is referred to as guile. What is the antidote to Lashon hara? The antidote is Lashon haTov. Speaking praise, saying good things to people. What are some examples? Lashon haTov, speaking praise. You have such a beautiful soul, Orly. You make everything better just by being you, Bruce. You have the best laugh, Shulamit. I really admire your resilience, Rick. We're going to be together, many of us, in 2 weeks' time for the retreat. Let us make this a kavanah, an intention, to speak Lashon Tov as much as we can to each other. And even in the chat on our Shabbat mornings, to do the same, to give each other what we need in order to lift us up and not to break us down. And so, on this Shabbat Tazria Metzora, may we lean into the power of praise, being mindful of how words can create worlds, or how words can destroy worlds. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.